Just to let everyone know out there, we're not shifting formats. This is not a movie review podcast now, although it could be. But we are going to talk a little bit about a particular movie here on this episode of Aspire to Retire with Ralph Short, Tim Short, and Scott Earhart of Welcome Home Financial Partners. Really do appreciate you joining us today. You can find out more about the guys, set up a time to speak with them at welcomehomefp.com. Made it real easy for you. The link is right there in the podcast description. Click a link, it'll take you right there. Find out more about them, set up a time to speak with them. My name is Chris Swan, and as always, pleased to be joined by Ralph Short, Tim Short, and Scott Earhart. Gentlemen, how we doing today?
Great. How are you, well, sir?
Doing well, doing well. So we're going to talk about a movie that I understand not everyone here has seen, and that movie is the Brad Pitt baseball film Moneyball. So who has seen it and who hasn't seen it?
What do you call me? I've seen it and read the book.
Yeah. Do an extra credit. I appreciate that. But so, okay. Extra points. Yeah.
Gold star.
We're grading here. But it is the story of the 2002 Oakland A's and how their manager actually used data and not gut feel to build his team. When you guys are building a retirement plan, when you guys are doing the retirement roadmap, does data usually win out, or do emotions still play a big part in the decision making?
I'm going to give a lot of opinion here, I think.
Okay.
But, data, the analytics, to steal a word from Moneyball and what they use, should win out. You can look at, the data that we receive from clients when we're building your retirement roadmap shows us what the specific client needs for their retirement, how to obtain and maintain the lifestyle they want throughout their retirement years. And if we use data and historical data, future data, things that we understand, we can help them, and things that can be quantified, we can certainly help build a portfolio or a retirement plan. I shouldn't even say retirement plan that will build and sustain throughout their retirement years. If you look specifically, Tim, I'm going to give you some spoilers here. If you look specifically at the Moneyball story, the Oakland A's, they never won the World Series, but they did have the longest winning streak in history, because when they finally implemented it, when they finally, the Brad Pitt character is based on Billy Beane, when he implemented his system and got the manager to say, no, we're doing this, they went on the longest winning streak in MLB history. And the manager was going through emotion, no, this is it. This is what I want to do. I want to do it this way. And when they were doing that, they were losing. Emotion can create knee-jerk reactions and really, bad pun here, take your eye off the ball and, get you to strike out. I'm done with my review now.
Well, I can't give you a review because I've never seen the movie. But what I want to know is what happened to this process, because if we look at the Oakland A's as of late, I'm not sure if they're still implementing that. Maybe it's all gut and emotions. But
just wait till it's a Las Vegas A's.
Right. So the good thing is, being an Atlanta Braves fan, there's a couple of really good players that came from there, because apparently they just don't want to hold on to their talent. So anyways, on to retirement. So what we see a lot nowadays is the emotional aspect and the emotional side of most clients now kind of get in their own way, right? So, when you're working, you're in your accumulation years. If you take a hit in the market, guess what? You've got some time. So stay the course, ride the wave, whatever you want to call it. Everybody's going to be a little bit different. But as you're getting closer to retirement, that's where we see a lot of times where people's emotions will get in their way. And if, we're down 10, 20% in the market, now they cash out. Well, guess what? Now you've kind of lost any rebound that could happen. So the emotional side of things is really big in the market these days, because it's been so volatile as of late, whether it's the election that we've talked about before or what have you. You want to make sure that your portfolio is going to sustain any good, any bad, any indifference, and it keeps the emotions out to where you're not selling low and buying high, which is not what you're supposed to do.
What I would say to you and anybody else here, the data has to be a part of the decision-making process, but you also have to include your emotions. And the reason I say that is this. Back in 1987, and yes, I was in this business back then, when we had Black Monday, I had spoken to a gentleman who was trying to retire around 78 years old. He was a professor at a major university. And basically, he had about $300,000 in his 403B. And all of a sudden, somebody told him that he needed to go with the high flying mutual fund at that point in time. And he decided to do that. As I explained to him, that is a fund that was for somebody that's in their 20s and 30s. But his other person that he was talking to convinced him to do that. Well, guess what? October 87 hit, and he lost 50-some% of his account within 1 to 2 days.
Oh, gosh.
What did he do? Just like Tim said, he got scared, emotional, and he sold out. And he was still working 5 years from now trying to recoup what it is. And it's all about behavior and emotion when it comes to investing. But now when you're in retirement, you've got to take a lot of that away from your decision making. You have to have it part of it, but you really don't have the time to wait till the investment gets back. I mean, the last 20 years of the S&P has gained somewhere around 7.5 to 7.7%, but the average investor at the same time period is 1.9%. Why? It's called investor behavior. They get scared when the market goes down and sell, but they had bought when the market was up.
Yeah, we have a running joke in the office that we need to purchase sofas and have them in the conference rooms because we like to call ourselves financial psychiatrists too, right? So a lot of people, when they get emotional, they make a knee-jerk reaction. And that's what you got to kind of put to bed. You want peace of mind in retirement so you don't have to worry about open up your laptop and seeing what the markets are doing today. Go sit on the beach. Go visit a grandchild. Go do what you want to do. So that's really important to make sure we can get the emotional side out of it.
And I think, Tim's point about the joke on financial psychiatrists, I mean, I can tell you right now, and I think all three of us can tell you, our clients that come in and use the couch and talk through decisions with us before they make them are going to have a lot better result than the client that gets emotional and pulls a trigger, does something. Part of what we do is we're going to look at all aspects of the decision. What's that going to do to your long-term goal? What's that going to do to your current standing taxably? If we make emotional knee-jerk decisions, it can have ramifications far beyond what the average investor is thinking they could happen. And we'll open up all that box and take a look. And if it's the right decision, we'll help you make it. If it's the wrong decision, we'll tell you that we believe it's the wrong decision. But ultimately, we're here to work with our clients and work for our clients. So if you want to make the decision, at least you've got all the information prior to just pulling a trigger.
I would think also to most people when they come in, they have never retired before. And they don't know what to expect. They don't know basically what we do for people, because that's one of the questions I ask people. What do you think we're going to do here today? I had a lady that came in on a Saturday because that was the only day that she could come in because of her work schedule. And she told me when she came in, she said, I'm so nervous. I'm so nervous. I said, about what? She said, I'm not sure what we're going to do today. She said, I didn't get any sleep last night. I said, the only thing that we are going to do today in our first meeting that is complimentary to you through our roadmap process is sit down and talk, find out your goals, get the data that we need so we can help you make those decisions, and it won't be as emotional for you. But we do a lot of hand-holding. Would you not agree with all that?
And we're happy to do a lot of hand-holding. Yeah. I mean, it's, our clients are incredibly important to us. We wouldn't have a business without it, so we're happy to hold your hand. But yes, it's a lot of helping a client understand that an emotional decision might be a detrimental decision.
Well, the other thing, too, is some information that people have preconceived is because it came from our parents. Okay, like number one thing a lot of people ask, should I pay my mortgage off in retirement? And I'm like, well, it depends. What are you trying to do? If you've got a mortgage that's 2.5% to 3.5%, guess what? That's probably about as cheap the money as you're ever going to get for the rest of your life. Doesn't make sense, but that doesn't mean it's not an emotional decision, because we were told by our parents to get rid of it as quick as we can. That's not that standard answer, because you have to look at all the things that you're going to do. And where's the money going to come from? Is it going to come from your 401k or IRA? If it does, guess what? If you owe $85,000 to $100,000 on your mortgage and you pull that out of your IRA or your 401k, what happens?
Taxation.
You're going to pay taxes.
Yep. Not
only the tax table that you are on right now, you have to add that additional amount of money as income. that's really going to have more taxable effect, and at the same time, a negative effect on your investments that you have at the moment.
Yeah, Chris, and what's important too is that, there's a lot of advisors out there that'll put somebody into a plan and then that's kind of it. We're going to be a little bit different because we're going to get you into a plan based off the data, not on the emotions, right? But we're going to walk you through that plan year in and year out, whether it's quarterly, annual, however often you want to meet. But what Scott was talking about earlier is, if somebody's got a big purchase that they want to make, they feel comfortable enough to call us, come in, we'll walk you through taxation, we'll talk about what it's going to look like for your plan, so on and so forth. So we're going to be there through retirement.
And I think Tim makes a really good point when he's talking about tailoring the plan that we're going to build for you off your data. I mean, it's important for us to, we're independently owned. Everybody at this table has a stake in this business where there's not some parent company telling us what to do, what we need to position for clients. So we don't have the emotion of a mothership company telling us, oh, we need dollars over here. We need dollars into this fund. Everything that we're going to do for our clients or present to potential clients is going to be based on that client and what's best for them.
At the end of the day, it depends. That's a very ambivalent answer, but it depends on the data, your personal data, being able to run those numbers. And again, depending on your comfort level, maybe you've got more risk than the quote unquote typical 60-year-old going into retirement, but you're comfortable with it. So that is okay. It's all about running those numbers, having that data presented to you, letting you make as informed a decision as possible, and doing what you can to keep the emotion out of it. As Ralph said, most of the people that come through the door, they're retiring for the first time, and it can be daunting. It can be intimidating. So there is a little bit of the psychology. I looked it up, psychology, not psychiatry. Psychiatry provides medication. You guys don't do that at the office. I hope we'll talk about that later on. But, running the data, running the numbers, and making sure it is going to work comfortably for you. And again, maybe scaling back a little bit, going back to baseball here. Yes, home runs, fantastic, fun to watch. But at the end of the day, you want those singles and doubles. You want that consistency because that is what is going to get you to the championship, which is your retirement, unlike the Oakland A's. But digress.
We'll take a grand slam every once in a while, too.
Yeah, no, they're certainly fun to watch. Yeah, absolutely. And they will happen. But you want that consistency. You want that data to back up what you're doing in retirement. And it all starts with that roadmap process. And that begins with a complimentary time to speak with the guys at Welcome Home Financial Partners. WelcomeHomeFP.com is the website. Once again, WelcomeHomeFP.com. Click the link right there in the podcast description. It'll take you there. Find out more about the guys. Find out more about the entire team. Welcome Home Financial Partners. Set up a time, and they love to speak with you, as we do every episode. We really do appreciate you joining us, letting us talk to you here on Aspire to Retire with Ralph Short, Tim Short, and Scott Earhart. If you're an Oakland A's fan and we're beating up on your team, I apologize, but it is what it is. Hope you have a great day ahead of you. Gentlemen, appreciate the time as always. And as we wrap up, want to leave you with the final word.
Yeah, so if you're sitting there listening to the podcast and, some of the things that we've said today, whether it's the anxiety or the emotional aspect of investing, or you're getting closer, or the political race, whatever it's going to be, if you've got some worries or concerns about your retirement, give us a call, visit the website, sign up for an event. We'd love the opportunity to bring you into the office and discuss those concerns and maybe focus more in on the data instead of just the emotions. But give us a call. We'd love to see you. Take care.
All content is for information purposes only. It is not intended to provide any tax or legal advice or provide the basis for any financial decision, nor is it intended to be a projection of current or future performance or indication or future results. Opinions expressed herein are solely those of Welcome Home Financial Partners and Welcome Home Wealth Advisors, LLC. The information contained in this material has been derived from sources believed to be reliable, but is not guaranteed as to accuracy and completeness and does not purport to a complete analysis of the materials discussed. All information and ideas should be discussed in detail with your individual advisor prior to the implementation. Each individual investor's situation is different, and any ideas provided may not be appropriate for your particular circumstance. Advisor services are offered by Welcome Home Wealth Advisors, LLC, a registered investment advisor in the state of Virginia. Being registered as an investment advisor does not imply a certain level of skill or training. Insurance products and services are offered through WPI Holding, Virginia Insurance License Number 138509, an affiliated company. The information contained herein should in no way be construed or interpreted as a solicitation to sell or offer to sell advisory services to any resident of any state other than the state of Virginia or where otherwise legally permitted. Welcome Home Wealth Advisors LLC and Welcome Home Financial Partners are not affiliated with or endorsed by the Social Security Administration or any government agency.